Hello, friends, and welcome back to Kingdom Death Simulator. I am Simodian, and it is wonderful to see you all again this week. As always, when we start off, we have to give ourselves a little bit of our content warning for this game. It also helps if I am in the correct window. Excellent. So, Kingdom Death Monster, which is the base version of what we're playing here in the simulator, is a very mature game. It contains a lot of adult imagery, as well as depictions and descriptions of violence, gore, body horror, as well as mental trauma. So please, first and foremost, take care of yourselves. And for anybody else who's okay with participating in those things, welcome aboard and please enjoy. If this is your first time here and you want to know what the heck is going on, you can check out the VODs of the last several streams over on YouTube. And for those of you on YouTube, thank you for your viewership over there. If you would like to witness these live, the link is down in the description for the Twitch channel, where we are live every Friday evening. With all that out of the way, we do have a little bit of bookkeeping to take care of. I realized that I had screwed myself incredibly. Also, did I leave my sound off? Nope, that's just not making sound effects. Interesting. Okay, so be it. So if you remember, the last couple weeks, we had a special settlement event, the Triathlon of Death. And with that Triathlon of Death, some of the survivors got good bonuses. Some of the survivors got some fairly debilitating ones. Where I messed up is, for here, each player, and since I'm playing solo, I'm basically being 4 players to myself, nominates a different survivor. What I was missing here is this does not say returning survivor. Most of the events in this deck do specify that they affect the returning survivors. This one does not. So I did not have to pick my good survivors. I could have nominated some of our less fortunate survivors to participate in that event, and then I would have been less at risk of semi-retiring some of our good people. So, my bad. Let's just hope we don't draw that card again. So, as always, reminder, this is a very complex game, especially for one player. There is a lot going on in this game. There are a lot of rules to manage, a lot of things to remember, a lot of stats to track. I've done my best to give myself some extra tools to do that, but at the end of the day, it's still a very complex game with a lot of cognitive load for just one person, so those mistakes are going to happen. If you're watching live and you happen to see one of those mistakes, you can please remind me that I am forgetting something. Typically, people only remind me when I'm forgetting something that's hurtful, not so much to when I'm forgetting things that help, but that's just the way this game goes. And lastly, before we dive into it, hopefully you can notice a bit of a difference on the audio end. I have boosted the audio up once again. I think I'm at a good place right now, but again, feel free to let me know if it's not quite right, especially on the YouTube side. I apologize to everybody over there. When I was doing my tests and stuff, things were seeming okay, and then I go and check the VOD, and it has been practically silent. So I'm doing my best, and every week we're going to get a little better. So what are we doing here this week? As we talked last week, we have coming up in 2 short years another Nemesis encounter with the Kingsmen. So last stream we had our special showdown with the Kingsmen. Did not go well, to kind of show, hey, we were not ready for that fight yet. So we have 2 years to try to get ready for that fight. Main goals, primarily, first thing we want to accomplish is to get this leather set done. We need one full leather set going into that fight for our tanking character. Beyond that, secondary goal is to get the organ grinder to be able to open up the barber surgeon. That will give us some abilities to get some of these semi-retired survivors back on track. Give us a little bit more of a population that's usable here. Ultimately, also, we just need population. We're starting to run a bit low. But yeah, primary goal is that leather. Secondary goal is going to be probably getting that organ grinder online. I did make offline a bit of a decision. We were saving our question mark resource as an organ potentially for that barber surgeon. I decided, or I'm sorry, yeah, we were saving it as an organ. I decided instead to spend it as a hide to make a bandage, which I believe Amir is carrying. And I think I actually want to move that over to Urza. So with this, it's going to help us remove bleed tokens because bleeding is going to be a concern coming up and going forward. That said, I believe we are set up and ready to go. So who is joining us today? First of all, we have Elsie, who is our spear survivor, also has some nice abilities here. Specifically, Red Fist is super valuable, gives everybody some extra strength, also gives us access to some additional survival opportunities. Double Dash, I don't think is going to be terribly relevant. Next up, we have one of our new survivors in Antonia. Antonia is going to be our primary tank for this upcoming fight. She's wearing our rawhide set, and she has our new scrap sword. So the scrap sword is going to have barbed 4. It needs 2 reds and a blue to also gain deadly. We have 1 red and 1 blue. So getting a second red affinity for our sword user is going to be pretty important. Something we're going to want to work on coming up. We also have Amir, who is our bow user. And Amir just has a lot of really nice support abilities. He also has the clawhead arrow, so this is going to give him additional support, as well as a lot of stuff going on. Most notably, the strategist fighting art, which means he's going to be able to place extra terrain when we get to the fight. And we are always going to be choosing the giant stone face because he can climb on top of that giant stone face and have extra accuracy for his bow. And finally, of course, it wouldn't be a fight without bringing our colony leader in Urza. Urza has a lot of great little abilities. Of note, she has the quixotic disorder, where if she is insane when she departs, and she is insane, she gains a strength token. So she is a big, strong girl. She's going to be absolutely obliterating monsters with damage. So yeah, Urza is going to be an absolute beast for us in this fight. Also, she has the counterweighted axe, so she can attack at a bit safe range. So yeah, I think with all of these things, we don't quite have the leather, but we do have all 4 of our survival actions. We were able to get Inner Lantern unlocked last week to give us the Surge, which now lets us attack an extra time. I think we have enough damage to burn down a level 2 lion. So before we get into that, let's take a quick look at what that means. Where is he? There he is. So moving up from a level 1 lion to a level 2 lion, it has 1 additional movement. Notably, it has 2 additional toughness, which is why having that extra damage I felt was really important. Also has extra speed, extra damage. Its damage previously was not that scary. It was more of its other effects that were more frightening, as well as some extra abilities. But it also starts off with 16 wounds instead of 11. So again, yeah, DPS is going to be very important for us here, but I think we can handle the level 2, and we're going to go for that because when we defeat a level 2, we get 2 additional White Lion resources, and the White Lion, due to the way its deck works out, actually favors hide, and we need hide right now to make that leather set. So that's the decision making that's coming into this. Where there's risk, however, let's get this set up. As you can see previously, the lion was hanging out over here. So we didn't have to do very many hunt events in order to get to the lion. It was a little more safer, a little more reliable. Well, now that we're hunting a level 2 lion, we have to venture out a little farther from our settlement to do so. So the lion has now moved back. What this means is overwhelming darkness is going to come into play. Most likely. It's possible that the lion can move forward and everything will be wonderful. We are not quite in a position where overwhelming darkness is going to be comfortable for us. It's actually going to be fairly risky for us right now. But I think the risk reward to get that level 2 lion, just forward looking, it's one of those things where playing it safe right now likely means we're going to slowly start losing our edge. And we want to stay ahead of the curve with regards to our gear and the enemies we're fighting. So this is risk reward pretty high on both ends right now. So we're just going to see how that goes. All that said, let's kick off the hunt. And let's see who is revealing our first event. It is going to be Elsie. So Elsie is going to come up here, reveal our first white lion event. And it is Aromatic Breeze. Okay. The hungry lion sniffs the survivor's musk on the wind. Move the white lion 1 space forward toward the survivors on the hunt board. I will happily do that. If it moves into the survivor space, don't worry about it. And then we roll a random hunt event. Where did my other die go? I have 4 here. Okay, I normally only have 3 over here. So our first random event of the evening is going to be 40. All right, Dream. The event revealer dreams of the upcoming hunt. They stand before the great beast, weapons ready, but it strikes them down. If the event revealer has 3+ courage, unfortunately, Elsie does not have any courage, or if any survivor is a savior, that is not true. The event revealer is emboldened by the dream and gains +1 evasion token. Otherwise, the dream is merely rattling. Suffer 1 brain event damage. Elsie does not have any insanity, so she has already taken her brain wound. If any survivor has the Twilight Sword, they dream of indiscriminate slaughter at the murder cell. Okay, so we do have a survivor with the Twilight Sword, but they are not with us. So that's good because murder absolutely sucks. All right, that's that. Moving on to Antonia. We have Prowling Lion. While the survivors stalk the white lion, the monster hunts something else. Move the white lion 1 space away from the survivors on the hunt board in pursuit of its prey. That's unfortunate. The white lion starts the showdown with ground fighting in play. That's actually okay. I'm all right with that. Ground fighting gives us a little bit of time to set up. And yep, that's it for that one. Next up, we have Amir, who just rolls a random hunt event at 68. Whoops, 1 too many. A familiar face. If no survivors have died yet this campaign, ignore this event and roll again on the hunt event table. Well, unfortunately, we have seen some death. Each survivor rolls 1d10. The lowest scoring survivor or survivors becomes a straggler. Oh, this is never good. All right, Elsie with a 7, Antonia with a 10, Amir with a 7, and Urza with a 4. Urza is the straggler. Oh boy, I don't want to read any more of this. While examining the stone faces underfoot, the straggler recognizes the face of a fallen friend. Oh no, it's Lucy. Bittersweet memories reduce them to tears, reduce their insanity to 0. Oh, that's unfortunate. Thankfully, Quixotic triggers when we depart. But that's not great. They gain +1 understanding. Urza's seen some things. So we're reaching the point where Urza is very valuable for us. So we're not going to be using her too much. Oh, poor Urza. She saw Lucy and got sad. And speaking of Urza, she's up for our next hunt event. 36. Oh, I think this is a bad one. Okay, it's not what I thought. The survivors rush forward, feeling their quarry close at hand. Skip the next hunt space. If this movement begins the showdown, the survivors ambush their quarry. If any survivor has noisy gear, we don't have any noisy, survivors do not ambush. Start the showdown normally. All right, so we skip the next hunt space. So good news, bad news. That brings us into Overwhelming Darkness. Which is right here. Fantastic artwork as always. All survivors must determine their paths and walk them simultaneously. So the good one here is Path of the, well, the least bad one here is Path of the Brave, which right now is only Urza. The next least bad is going to be Path of the Insane. Currently, nobody is insane, so everybody else is walking the Path of the Doomed. However, Urza does have the leader fighting art, which means once per hunt phase, they may inspire another survivor. They use your understanding and courage to resolve a hunt or story event. For example, if she has 3+ courage, she can inspire another survivor to walk the path of the brave. So, who is she inspiring? Elsie and Amir are both very useful. I think she's going to inspire Elsie because Amir has a little bit more resources to work with. He has some insanity, not a whole lot else. So yeah, I think Elsie is the more valuable of the two statistically. Amir, all he really has going for him is his fighting arts, which are nice, but stats are going to win the day, I believe. So Urza is going to inspire Elsie to walk the path of the brave. So let's start with Elsie. She rolls an 8. With your lantern held high, you cut a path through the teeming darkness. Suffer 1 event damage to your arms. That's acceptable. Next up, we have, whoopsie, Antonia. I didn't realize that worked like that. I thought I had to be in the book to turn pages. Oh, poor Antonia rolls a 1 on the Path of the Doomed. A host of translucent moths gently descend on you, spend all your survival, or your lantern light vanishes and you're never seen again. Dead. She's going to spend all of her survival, which is unfortunate, but, well, it's better than being dead. Amir is next with a 5. You choke on the atmosphere. It leaves you sick and unbalanced. Lose monster level survival and gain -1 evasion token. So he will lose 2 survival. That's not that bad. And a -1 evasion token. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. He's not really going to be in danger very much, hopefully. And then finally, Urza, with an 8, also suffers 1 event damage to her arms. Did she already suffer 1 event damage to her arms? Or did I mistype that? I think she should be at 1. Because she was the straggler. but that just made her lose her insanity. I think that might have just been an overlay thing. I might have typed something wrong. I think we're okay. Hopefully it doesn't end up meaning anything. And then, finally, we start our showdown. Level 2. All right, lots of stuff going on. So, first of all, we need to go find ground fighting. Where is our lion? There it is. Come on. It's always helpful if it's already in here. It is not. Okay. This is like the only thing that's helpful. Easier in paper than it is trying very hard not to read what the other cards are. All right, so, and then ground fighting is an advanced card, so we got to go grab one more advanced card to replace it. I just had it. Where did this stupid deck go? There it is. So we will grab all of the advanced cards. Bring those out, shuffle it up, pick one, and pop that into the deck, and then give that one more shuffle. Okay, so that is all taken care of. So yes, the good thing about ground fighting, while it is in play, the monster does not draw an AI card. So the monster will do literally nothing until we provoke it. Unfortunately, this will eventually add 1 wound back to the monster, so I'm just going to go ahead and account for that now, because I know I'll forget later if I don't. So yeah, basically Zone of Death, we just do what we need to do. We prepare, we use our abilities, we go gather resources, and then we just start using ranged attacks until Zone of Death. Until ground fighting comes off. Now, notably, the White Lion starts with an additional card in play, the trait Cunning. At the end of each monster turn, the monster extends its claws. If there are any adjacent survivors, target one at random and full move the White Lion directly away from all threats. Target suffers grab, which is bad. So the unfortunate thing here, and this is definitely going to change the way we're playing this. So this little thing right here is what's known as a flow step. When you see a monster's actions separated like this, this means we have an opportunity to interject, notably spending survival to do stuff. So what we do here is, okay, the monster extends its claws, and then we can spend a survival to dash to get out of being adjacent and avoid that. The problem that we are currently experiencing, Antonia has no survival. Antonia is also the only person with a range 1 weapon. So Antonia's gonna get some hits in and then honestly just kind of run away for a lot of the fight, I think. Because that is unavoidable damage, and that'll add up real quick, and especially against the White Lion, you don't want to be knocked down. But before we get there, thankfully, we can give her 1 survival back from her stone nose. She'll also gain an insanity. Elsie will gain an insanity. I just have to remember she's already suffered her brain wound. And I think that's all I have for stone noses. Additionally, for Elsie, with that red fist, everybody gains a +1 strength token. So since we can spend +1 strength tokens, in place of survival, this does give Antonia an extra dash. Let me give everybody another strength on the overlay. So yeah, Elsie and Urza are both sitting at 5 strength. So Antonia is just here to learn. She doesn't have any experience yet. She's just going to stand here and watch the other girls go to work. Next up, we have to set up our terrain. So, whoops. The way I usually don't do that. The way I usually do this is I set up one here and one, 2, 3, 4. One is usually like up here. I think that's right. Yeah. What else do we have? We have a debris adjacent to any board edge. Cool. We'll put that down here. And an ore vein, at least 6 spaces from all other terrain. So I think we'll put this one here. Whoops. We'll put this one. What is it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put that there. Because again, we have time to go gather our resources before we start the fight. And we get to go find our giant stone face. Where's terrain? Oops, did that a little backwards, but that's fine. Giant stone face. Thank you. The rest of you can go away. So, giant stone face. Obstacle, impassable, all those things. But you can spend an action to stand on top of it to get +2 range and +2 accuracy. So Amir's just going to be standing up there pretty much the whole fight. And then we can go grab that. That's you. And then the rules were 5 spaces away from all board edges. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How does that feel? I think that's okay. Because we're going to want to try to be fighting in this area. Okay, I'm good with that. So now let's get everybody set up. I think, unfortunately, Urza is going to have to take over main tanking duties. Since Antonia just does not have survival. Amir can start here. And then we'll start Elsie here. And Antonia here. All right. I think we're ready to kick things off. So to start things off, Amir is going to spend his action just to step on top. Make sure he is back a bit. Urza is going to just hang out over here. Elsie is going to scavenge the debris pile. With a 1, she's knocked down. That's fine. She'll get up later. So, just for bookkeeping purposes, we'll say she's knocked down. And then Antonia is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and end her turn there. Monster is going to take its turn. Again, ground fighting means it doesn't do anything. Monster is going to end its turn. Elsie is going to stand up. So yep, Elsie's just going to move on over here. I think she can step up here. That's fine. Antonia is going to move over here and try to get the ore. So for that, she will also roll with an 8. Gain 1 iron. Nice. Okay, and then again, everybody's going to end their turn. Actually, we'll have Urza use her rawhide headband just to see what's coming. Power slot, closest they're facing in range. That's okay, because it's only 1 speed. Or no, it's going to be 2 speed because it's a level 2. or grasp. We'll pick grasp, I think. They're both kind of bad. But I think, yeah, grasp is less damage, so I think that's just the smarter one. Although that means we want it second because odds are we're going to remove power swat. Also, on her first turn, I forgot to do it. Urza is going to use her Order of Death ability to give everybody +2 insanity. So that's going to help us out. And then I think that's all of like the special abilities and stuff. So now we can actually start the fight. Well, not just yet. So that's the end of the second round. Again, monster doesn't do anything. Third round, Antonia is just going to come back over this way. End her turn there. Monster doesn't do anything. So now, on round 4, I think we're ready to actually begin the fight. So the way we're going to begin it, because we don't want to step up, we're actually going to start with Amir. And Amir is going to use the Clawhead Arrow. So this is slow, so it has a speed of 1. You must have a bow in your gear grid to activate it. Got it. And then if you hit, the monster gains -1 evasion token, but we can only do this once per showdown. So now is the best time to do it. Actually, no. I want to do one more round because I need to make sure everybody can get into attack. That's fine because the monster's not doing anything. Antonia is safe there. Urza is going to be able to step up, and LC 1, 2, 3. Yeah, LC is going to hang out over here to attack. Okay. So now we do the attack round. And we're going to do this. So standing on top of the stone face, again, he has +2 accuracy. So he only needs a 4, and hitting this would be very helpful. That is a hit. So I think it's just hit, right? Yes, if you hit. Does not have to wound. So let's grab that -1 evasion token. Also, while we're here, just for record-keeping purposes, I need these. I'm tracking them on the overlay, but I also want to track them here because the tokens themselves potentially matter at points. I don't think so they will right now, but still good to get into the habit of always doing that. Cool. So he still gets to roll for damage. The arrow is 6 strength. Amir is 3 strength. So that is 9 against the lion's 10 toughness. So technically he will wound on a 1. However, 1's auto fail, so 2+. But first we need our hit location. That's not drawn yet, so I'll just give it a shuffle. Strange hand. Cool. All right, so 2 or higher. That is a wound. So power swat comes off. And now ground fighting is discarded. So this is something I need to... in future versions of the overlay, I will also be tracking stats that I'm not currently tracking for the monster, that being evasion, luck, and accuracy. So you won't see it on the overlay, but yes, we will now be taking care of the -1 evasion for the monster. So nothing else to do here. Now we can start doing work. We're going to start with Antonia. Let's bring her around. And she's going to swing with her scrap sword. So it is a speed 2. Hitting on a 5+. The monster is -1 evasion, so it's going to be hitting on a 4+. That is 1 hit to the fleshy gut. So the sword is 3 strength. Antonia is 2 strength, so that is a total of 5. So she needs a 5 to wound. That is a wound. So grasp goes away. Antonia is not going to surge right now because she's got to save her survival for that dash. Next, we're going to move up Elsie. 2, 3, 4. She has the spear, so she can attack at range. So 6+, so 5, thanks to the accuracy, or the evasion. No hits. Cool. Do we want to start surging? I think we do. So we're going to have Elsie surge. Go again. 1 hit that time. And it's the trap. Of course it is. So good news. Antonia is now out of danger because the Alliance is going to move. Perform basic action targeting the attacker. So basic action. Because of the tokens, this is 3 speed. And Elsie does not have... she has her 1 natural evasion, so 3 speed hitting on 3s. Oof. That is 3 hits. So this will be 2 damage each, because the monster also has +1 damage. 2 damage each to head, and waist. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, Elsie should have 1 armor on her waist. Not that it really matters right now because it's going away, but that'll bring her to a light wound on her waist. And then 4 damage to her head is going to bring her... Thankfully, she had the skull helm to her light wound on her head. Woof. Rough start, but that's it. The lion is thankfully still a little simple. The problem now is Elsie's in a bad spot. I don't want Elsie to stand in the front. I want to get Urza there, and I can. So we're going to have... Oh, Elsie also should have spent a survival for that. We're going to have Elsie spend a survival now to dash instead of later. Just so that she's not standing in front of it when things happen. We're going to put her over here. So Urza, we kind of want Urza to be standing in the front right now. So Urza is just going to go absolutely crazy on this thing. So hitting on 5s. 1 hit. I'm pretty sure I shuffled this, but just to be safe. The paw is back. So yeah, Urza, 4 strength on the axe. 5 strength on her. So again, 2 or higher. That is a wound. We can't surge with Urza. She's got to be our main tank, which means she needs to save that survival for everything else, unfortunately. So I think that's everything. Want to hold off on a mirror for now. Because again, like, I think going hard on the first round is good, but then we need to kind of start saving our survival for other stuff. Yeah, we'll hold on. We can see how things go. So over to the monster. So Cunning is at the end of its turn. So to start off with, it's going to Vicious Claw. Random survivor in range. Of course it's a random survivor in range. Okay. Random survivor is Urza. Well, that worked out nicely. So 3 speed hitting Urza on 5s. I'd like to try and start dragging it back towards some grass. Should have thought about that a little more. But what's done is done. So yes, hitting on 5s. That is 1 hit. Let's. I think we take this one. 2 damage to the body. I think we're okay with that. And a bleeding token. It's only 1 bleeding token. That's manageable. So now the monster is going to extend its claws and grab anybody who is adjacent. So Urza is going to spend a survival to dash. Let's see if she gets it back. She does. So she is going to scoot. She's going to sidestep. And that's fine. So the monster extends its claws. Nobody is currently adjacent. If I'm not mistaken, Cunning does not target diagonally. And we're good. So it's back around to our turn. So we will have Antonia start off in the blind spot. So now, I think I forgot to account for this before. She's actually hitting on 4s, because -1 evasion for that, and then +1 accuracy for the blind spot. I don't think it would have mattered. We got 2 hits. Oh, boy. So that's how it's going to be tonight, huh? Okay. Antonia might not be sticking around for much longer. 3 speed, hitting on 5s. Thankfully, she's wearing a tanking set. 1 hit. So she will take 2 damage to the hands. That should be all right. Yeah, we're good. All right, that could have gone worse, so I will take it. So let's... My goodness. I think that's 2 traps in what? 6 or 7 hits? Oh boy. Yeah, that's that. I don't want Antonia standing in front, but she needs to hold on to her survival. All right. Well, let's just see how things go. Elsie, you're up. Hitting on 5s. 2 hits. Beast's ear and the beast's tail. So this is bad. We're not going to do that just yet. That's acceptable. Yeah, honestly, this isn't that bad, even if it does happen. But Elsie is highly likely to wound. Again, 3 plus... Yeah, so she's wounding on a 2. That's a wound. And then now for this one. That's a 3. So actually... Trying to remember how this works. I'm fairly positive we can dash here. I'm trying to think. Because there's no flow step, but we can essentially have Elsie, or sorry, Antonia dash in between. So I think that's the smart thing to do. So we will bring her here. Sounds good. That's probably okay. Let's see if she gets that survival back. She really needs to. She does not. Sweet. All right, Antonia, you're rapidly approaching Nothingsville on this fight. So anyway, that was a wound. And then it's full move, and this guy can move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So unfortunately, I think that means Amir is now out of range. That's sad. Maybe. Urza can move. She does have 6 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's still going to be out of range. So we'll bring Urza up just so she's likely to be the primary target, and then have her rawhide. Well, we'll have her rawhide headband first. We do not want Enraged at all. I don't even care what the other card is. Enraged would be horrible. Well, let's see what the other card is. Victim of grab, closest knockdown survivor. So he's just going to sniff, because nobody got grabbed and there's nobody knocked down. So sniff. Sniffs the air and ends its turn. Until the end of the next round, all survivors are now threats, despite any effects that say otherwise. That's fine. Okay, so actually we kind of get like a free round. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Urza. We'll bring Amir up to here. He's still well out of range, and also since it's cumbersome, he can't attack this turn. But let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he's still out of range, but chill up there, bud. That's fine. See for Elsie, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Elsie's probably going to dash next turn. Also, I forgot all these came back a while ago. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so Lion's turn. We already know. Gets Maul. Victim of grab last round. Nobody is grabbed last round. Closest knockdown survivor in range. Nobody is knocked down. So sniff, which means he just kind of sniffs around. And until next round, everybody will be a threat. Not too bad. And then end of its turn, cunning, extend its claws. Nothing happens. Nothing happens is honestly the best possible outcome for us right now. All right, back around to our turn. Antonia, you don't have a whole lot of time left. So, oh, actually, before that, since Amir isn't attacking this round, he's going to Cat's Eye Circlet to look at the next 3 hit locations. Okay, so none of these are that bad. We'll do it in this order. I think that's fine. All right, so now Antonia, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, into the blind spot. So hitting on 4s. 2 hits. One of them is a perfect hit, which triggers Barbed. She has +4 strength for the rest of this attack. Cool, because this is probably going to be her last attack. So she's going to be wounding on a 2 at this point. So 2 hits. She gets these 2. 50-50. They're both nice. No reactions on either. Crits are both helpful. We'll do the Beast Femur first. Actually, almost a crit. But that's great, because now that means Enrage is out of here. Really happy we don't have to deal with that. And then the Fuzzy Groin. Also a wound. Next up, we're going to have Elsie move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then she's also going to dash. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is a good place for her. So let's spend that survival. Use up her dash. So Elsie hitting on 4. No, 5. Elsie's hitting on 5. That is 2 hits. So we already know the Beast's back and the Beast's knee. So we'll start off with the knee because there's nothing negative here. Again, 3, 5. So wounding on a 2. Cool. That's another one. So we're burning through its wounds. We just gotta survive a couple of rounds. And then the Beast's back. So this would be not great, but we'll deal. Again, she's wounding on a 2, so I'm not too worried. So he says, so a full move forward, but it'll actually stop at the wall. Famous last words. Amir, you might have to get off that stone face at some point, bud. That's okay. You can just keep cat eye circling. I'm okay with that. Eventually, the lion's going to come back over. So Urza still has her move. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll stop her here because counterweighted axe can also hit at range. So that is hitting on 5s. 2 hits. All right. That's fine, because most likely Urza's getting targeted anyway. We'll do Beast Heal first, though. So, yep, looking for that 2. Thank you. And then Beast Flank again, 2. Yep. All right, we are doing some damage. Honestly, I'm going to Surge with Urza. Let's do it. See if she gets it back. She does not. So again, I haven't brought it up this stream, but yes, Rawhide Armor, when you perform a survival action on a 6+, you get the survival back. Also, I should flip that because that's a girl. Gotta be fair about this. So looking for 5s. 1 hit, sure thing. Oh, also Urza does have the priority target token now. And a crit! Sweet! The blow wallops the white lion's head, causing shockwaves of blinding pain. Persistent injury. Whenever the white lion draws AI, roll 1d10. If the result is 1 or 2, discard the card and end the monster's turn. Nice. And I forgot again about axe specialization. She could have re-rolled that 1. Gotta remember that. So this now comes into play. All right. Yeah, Amir already used that. All right. Antonia still got stuff going on. Okay, so we move over to the monster, who draws alert. So now we get to do this. 1 or a 2, nothing happens. Okay, so this does go off. So alert, it's another mood. So technically, that for now counts as a wound because it's out of the deck. It's possible we'll go back into discard. Unlikely, though. So when a survivor moves into a space within the zone of death, stop their movement, they gain the priority target token. Okay. At that point, we discard alert and perform a basic action. So we're actually in a good situation right now. We're just going to chill. We're just going to let Urza stand here and beat the hell out of this lion because we don't want anybody else moving in. And then we'll see what the lion does and then decide from there. So to start off with, again, we're going to have Amir Cat Eye Circlet. That's suboptimal. That's actually really good. That would be not great. But again, that's unlikely to happen. So we will... do it this way. I think that's good. Urza, go to town. Looking for that 5s. 1 hit. Okay. I can put that there. All right, so let's roll to wound. Yes, we wound. Cool. We're getting there. We are getting there. And I don't think we've seen, because for a level 2, oh no, it does not have a legendary yet. Okay, that's only a level 3 for the lion. All right, if the attacker has 3+ understanding, Urza has very much understanding. The sound of cracking ribs is encouraging. The attacker gains +1 survival. Excellent. So again, Urza will surge now that she has another survival again. That should have flipped back, but we're going to flip it again. This also should be back. That is a... oh, no, that means she spent the survival. That wasn't the attack roll. So now looking for 2 more. That is 2 hits, and we already know what they are. We'll do the scapular deltoid first. That is a wound. So I always wonder, like, on one hand, do I want a hotkey for draw face down? Because it would be helpful and, like, efficient. But at the same time, I think I would try to press that hotkey and accidentally press the wrong button. So I don't know how I feel about that. All right, so anyway, that's done. And then, well, this kind of is what it is. That is a wound. So we almost have this guy down. Attacker suffers 1 brain damage. Would prefer not to, but it is what it is. And perform the basic action. So we will choose this way. So again, 3 speed, hitting on 5s. That looks like 1 hit to me. Let's see what happens, because 2 damage to the waist. We can soak that. Whoops. And that's that. Now we come back around to the monster's turn. Nope, not just yet. We're going to have Oh, the monster has moved now. Nope, still have Zone of Death up. Or alert, I mean. So, how do we want to do this? think we wait to see what the lion does? Or do we... No, okay. So I think the play here... I think we got to serve up Antonia. She's the one most likely to survive. So when a survivor moves into a space within the zone of death, which right now everybody except Amir is in the zone of death. So what we will do is we will have Antonia move. That will trigger this. So we discard alert, perform basic action. So that is a wound back on the monster. And the lion comes after Antonia. But importantly, that kind of brings the lion back over. What we'll also probably do is we'll have Urza dash into the grass in a bit, so that because she's the priority target. So that's probably we'll bring her like over here to draw it away from Antonia later. That's assuming Antonia lives. 3 speed hitting on 5s. That is 1 hit. That is 2 damage to her head. That's actually okay. She still has her head armor. And that's that. So now we actually can take turns. Because that ends Antonia's movement. But she can still take her action. And I think she will. So she's hitting on 5s. That is a perfect hit. So Barbed is in effect. Or it would be. All right. 3 more hitting on 5s. No hits. Antonia survives. All right. Elsie, where do I want you? Just to be safe, we're going to step Elsie over here. And then Elsie, do it. She will also be hitting on 5s. 1 hit. You can't be serious. Oh my god. Elsie's in trouble. These are hitting on 3s. We might be losing Elsie. 3 hits. So that is 2 damage each. Waist, body, body. Suboptimal. So that is going to be a severe on the waist and a severe on the body. Oof. She does not have Acanthus. All right. I thought Elsie was going to be safe, but it appears not. So we'll start off with the waist with a 5. Warped pelvis. Your pelvis is disfigured. Suffer -1 permanent luck. This injury is permanent. Gain -1 bleeding token. That's not great. I think we still keep using Elsie. That just means she's never going to be able to crit. But Elsie is too valuable to leave behind just for that. That's assuming she lives here. With a 4, that feels bad. Gaping chest wound. Okay. Elsie might be screwed. -1 permanent strength. God. Another bleeding token. Honestly, Elsie is still one of our better survivors. Even with all of this. Oh boy. All right. Well, she lived. I'll take that. That's insane. All right, what are we doing? Is Amir? Well, no, Amir already acted for the circlet. So we're going to have Urza dash. Ooh, are we? No, we're not. No. Because then she won't be able to dash at the end of the monster turn. Glad I remembered that. Okay, so I think that's it. It's not worth surging right now. All right, let's see what the monster does. But I think next round we kind of got to go all in. All right, ground fighting. Honestly, okay. That's cool. Technically, it's a wound. So here's actually how this is going to go. So ground fighting. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. So that's a best case scenario for us. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So that's all the lion is doing. Oh, I forgot about this thing. Oh, let's even see if that happens. Yeah, okay. All right, so I've forgotten a couple of rules, all in the monster's favor. All right, so cunning will trigger. We will have Elsie dash. Just moving her here, I think is best. So it's spending her dash, using a survival. Then end of the monster's turn. This will come back again. Is that how that works? At the end of each monster turn? I don't know what order that triggers in. I'm going to say that order. Yeah, because the survival actions come back at the beginning of the monster turn. All right. So the game plan right now is just Urza mess this thing up. Before Urza acts, actually. Let's be smart. Let's cat eye circlets. Yep. Okay. All right, so if Urza can wound the monster's... No, wait. Wait. We still have to get ground fighting off. So we're going to have Elsie go first. Yeah, okay. That's fine. That's going to put a wound back. All right, I think we have to slow play this, unfortunately. We're limited on options because the only 2 cards the monster has left are kind of annoying. Okay. So, yeah, we don't want to do that because now ground fighting is in play. So, yeah, Elsie can safely try to wound off ground fighting from here. What about Amir? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Amir is just out of range, so he's just gonna keep circling Amir. That's honestly perfect. All right, so Elsie, 2 speed, hitting on 5s. I don't think she gets anything on perfect hit, but that is 2 hits, which is exactly what we want. Is this on wound? Yeah, it's on wound. Okay. So we will do this one first. So she's wounding, if I'm remembering correctly, on a 2. Cool. So that, I mean, just to do this correctly, that goes there. Then draw face down. Yeah, obviously. So that brings it down to... So this is where bookkeeping gets gets complicated. But now this goes back. So now that wound comes back. It's a very problematic setup we have right here. But then into Beast's tail. Honestly, this is fine. I'm okay with that happening. Yeah, we're actually in a really good scenario here. So actually, like, failing to wound here would actually be the best outcome, believe it or not. But that's unlikely, yeah. So get ground fighting, goes over here, and then it'll go over here. So we are back down finally to 1 wound. Unfortunately, we're not attacking again because that trap is there. We have to slow play this. So it's going to do its basic action, which is closest survivor and field of view. Do we just make sure that's Urza? No. We let Antonia take the hit. So Antonia can spend her strength token to dodge if she needs to. And Urza's just more valuable. I'm sorry, Antonia, but that's the way it's got to be. Okay. That's fine. We'll do that. No, because then she's got the dash. She can't do both. She's out of survival. She has the strength token that she can spend for survival. It's 50% chance she gets it back? I don't like that. I don't like those odds. All right, yeah, we'll do... Oh no, I was going to target Urza anyway. That's right, because the priority target token. Perfect. So yeah, we will have Urza move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We thought it through. We remembered all the rules. That's perfect. So basic action does count as drawing an AI card. So let's see. Oh, it does nothing. End the monster turn. Okay, well, now I wish I'd done that slightly differently, but okay. It'll extend its claws. Nothing happens. Sweet. All right, so next turn we will have Amir Circlet again. Get out of here. We'll take this one. Or what's on here? Yeah, we'll take this one because we might... Amir has the understanding for it, but Amir's out of range. Urza, I think she could use a survival. Okay. So we'll do it this way then. Whoops. No, we'll do it this way. So this is why Cat Eye Circlet is so helpful. We have come up across this trap so many times. I don't believe it. But we made it through. That's... So our best bet is just to send in our heaviest hitter. We just need to get 1 wound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That extra movement is so nice. And then she's hitting on 4s now. That's 1 hit. That's all we need. Wounding on a 2. That's a wound. She will get a survival. And that is the level 2 lion defeated. Whew. That was closer than I would have liked. But we did it. Everybody got their wounds in. That's great. Didn't think about that until just now, but I don't think that was ever really in question. Because again, we have damage. We just need a little bit more survivability. Oof, Elsie, that's rough, but it's honestly, it's okay. We can overcome that. She can never crit, which sucks. But it's possible she can gain the luck later and balance that out. But I think she's still just too valuable with the red fist. She lost a strength. That was something that was really good for her. She had extra strength. But she's still with this loadout, she's still got plenty of strength. We'll think about it. We'll see how it goes. I think Elsie's still worth bringing for red fist. That said, Lion's done. Let's go get our rewards. So at a level 2 lion, we gain +2 hunt XP. So that's nice. That brings Elsie very close to an age. That brings Antonia to an age. Also, while I'm thinking of it real quick, let me check off Elsie's spear. So we already know that means Antonia will get a proficiency, and she will choose sword. She'll get a check mark in that. We'll age her up in a moment. Amir ages up. That's nice. And he becomes a bow specialist. And then Urza also ages up. And she's closing in on Axemaster. So I think once Urza hits Axemaster, we just park her in the settlement for a while. We don't want to risk her anymore at that unless it's like... I'd like to also maybe try to get her... She's almost... Once she hits Axemaster, she's also going to hit this next age milestone. So we got some leveling up to do. I'll be back to you in a moment, Lion. Well, actually, I think we're done with that page. We know what it is. Age. All right. Let's start with Antonia. An 18. That's good. +1 permanent accuracy. Yes. Nice. All right, Antonia, you went through it, but you came through the other side. Glad to see it. Let's do Amir next. So improved reflexes. Nothing passive, but he does get to roll. With a 17, that is 1 random fighting. That's unfortunate. Do we have that thing yet? Yes, we do. Right? No, not yet. We haven't gotten there yet. Okay. What's he get? He gets Berserker. Once per showdown, that's not great. So the good thing is Amir is maxed out on fighting arts. He can only have 3. So he will just choose not to take that one. That sucks. Amir wasted a level up. And then Urza with an 18. That is also a fighting art. Wow. Well, I guess those are the most... I don't know. I mean, +1 strength was the most common outcome. That's okay. Urza has room for a fighting art, so she gets extra sense. You may dodge one. That is so good. Oh, I'm going to stop complaining. And we also get to go find our bow proficiency, which is right here. There it is. I actually don't remember what bow proficiency does. Or bow specialization. When attacking with a bow, you may re-roll and he misses once. I'll take it. Cool. So that's all that taken care of. Yes, yes, yes. Sweet. So now we get our rewards. So it's 4 basic and 6 lion. We got hide. Excellent. Question mark. Take it. Organ. That's fine. And a monster bone. And then 6 lions. Come on. Fur. Yes. Gray cat bones. Fur. Yes. Golden whiskers. That's an organ. That's boo. Lion claw. Shimmering mane. Yes. Shimmering mane turns into 2 hide. Perfect. All right. Sweet. So I think we're in a good place with all that. And now we get to come back. So settlement phase, we get 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm remembering correctly, Urza has Tinker. Yes, and nobody else understands anything. Wait a second. I had Amir's stats wrong. Sam, you idiot. Amir could have walked the path of the brave. Okay, doesn't matter. We got through it. I'm not going to dwell on it. All right. Now we get to draw our settlement event. It doesn't help after I've already forgotten. You need to pay attention. I need all the help I can get. Update timeline. So nothing else going on this year other than our regular settlement event. And it is... I was so... Oh, this one kind of sucks. No, this one's okay. This isn't what I thought it was. A large stone face slowly opens its mouth. Survivors prove their bravery by running into it. So we can brave the maw. Roll any number of d10 and add the results. If you roll any doubles, the maw snaps shut, leaving you trapped in the darkness. You are dead, and no one else may endeavor here this year. That's risky. That's really risky. Lantern Sword is really cool, but I don't think it's worth it. Because let's see, we would have to roll 6d10 to realistically, and on 6d10 we're highly likely to roll doubles and lose somebody. So yeah, go away. We have no need of you right now. All right, let's gather up all of our stuff. Let's come over here. Not the greatest haul, but good enough. This iron, can't really do anything with the iron just yet, so that's fine. All right, so first order of business, we've got to spend an endeavor to innovate. So we will use a regular hide, regular bone, and a regular organ to do so. All right, there's a bunch of really good things. There's one thing I'm kind of really hoping for, but we'll see. Scarification, ain't it? Cooking, not really. Bloodletting, not feeling great. And Shrine. Okay, so none of the hits. Let's see what we got. Scarification, no, not worth at all. Cooking, gain an extra endeavor. Like, that's not bad. Otherwise, not particularly helpful. It's more of like a later game thing. Bloodletting. That's not bad. But I think Shrine is our pick. That's going to add more crap to the deck. But it's so good. Yeah, it's got to be Shrine. We will take our Shrine. Let's start lining up down here. So unfortunately, again, that means we got to add more. I hate making the deck thicker, but that was such a terrible draw. We are... Wait, I think I might have missed one. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy talking to myself. Oh, okay. Oh, that's it. Just sacrifice. Okay. All right. So be it. All right. So the important stuff. Got to make some leather. So we can spend an endeavor to turn any number of hide into leather. So we're going to take 2 from the Shimmering Mane. 3, 4. Do we just do 4? All right, so we're definitely hunting another level 2 lion after this. Because I forgot how expensive leather is. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just make 4 leather. That's another endeavor. And then we get... 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to take 1 leather. We're going to use this as a hide. And 1 bone. Because I don't think we really have much use for any of the rest of this stuff. So we're going to make ourselves that leather shield. It's time to get shield going. So trying to think of the best way to do this. Okay, so we'll make a leather cuirass? I don't remember how to pronounce it. With that, we'll make a leather skirt. That's the easy one. And then I think what we do is we go try to gather a scrap, because I'm almost positive we don't have a scrap. We do not. We have another bone and an organ, but we don't need that. So let's come over here to our weapon crafter. We can scrap scavenge. All right, who do we want to send out there? Who's not doing anything for us? I think that's Zachary. All right, so one endeavor. That is a 9. That's a broken lantern, which is exactly what we needed, which is a scrap. So we can make our mask. Cool, so we're close. We just need the boots and the bracers. So we need 4 more hide to get that done. As for organ grinder, we are not there yet, so we'll just pop those golden whiskers. We can make a whisker harp, which is not bad, but I don't think it's going to help us as much as we would like right now. All right, so not bad there. Aside from that, we still have 2 more endeavors to spend. One of them is going to go on Shrine. Glad I remembered that. Cool, 4+. Everybody gets an extra armor for the next hunt. Nothing else we can really do up here. So I think we might just do another scrap scavenge. Oh, or do we want to shared experience? Can we do anything with a scrap? I don't think we really need... Zanbato would be nice. It's probably worth it to build up some extra scrap. So I don't think 1 hunt XP is going to do anything for anybody right now. No, because most of these people just leveled up. It can get Elsie to her next age. But now that we're hunting level 2s, I don't think that's really necessary. That's more to get like new survivors online. So yeah, let's just do another scrap scavenge with Zachary. Rolling a 3, that feels bad. Yeah, spend a survival or die. That's fine. All right, so that's the end of that settlement phase. So yeah, we're just going to go after another level 2 White Lion. Might just bring the same crew with us. Let's see. Ariadna is eligible. But she's not much. Cedric. We might bring out Cedric. Just got to start working on that shield. We got so much stuff to do. We still haven't started another Fist and Tooth survivor either. But we don't have anybody good. That's why, like, I really need that barber surgeon. All right. If all goes well after this, we can get the barber surgeon. We'll have our leather. Oh, but he also has immortal. That's not too bad. We can work with immortal. Um, so yeah, we're probably gonna bring out Cedric so he can start working on some shield proficiency. How strong is Cedric? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll figure out some gearing. But yeah, as usual, we're gonna take a short break here, 5 minutes or so, while I figure all this out and get everything set up for next time out. So please stick around. For the YouTube folks, there'll be another video up. I usually upload them on the same day, so it should be there. So just hang out for a few, and we'll be right back.